right, so welcome Iowa. Happy Friday, everybody. I figured everyone right now needed a happy hour. I know we did. So I asked Kyle Blohm and Vince King and Brad Stimmel to join me today. Not only to have a happy hour together, but to share some ideas. And quite honestly, I was sick of typing emails to all of you, and you're sick of getting them from me. And I wanted to get some communication out to all of you with some ideas from your peers. Those are way better coming from the trenches than it is from us. So again, today's about sharing some ideas, enjoying it, having some fun together. And this is something new, so this is not going to be pretty, but we'll have fun with it. But first off, I want to say thank you to everybody. And unbelievable, I don't know how, but we are up $164,000 in life production credit in the first quarter over last year. We sold more life insurance in March than we did last year. We have 1.5 million in underwriting, which normally is 1 million in underwriting. And what you're doing is honestly is protecting livelihoods and futures, but to do it during a time like this is unbelievable. And I can't tell you how much I appreciate what all of you are doing. And a few of the gentlemen that had amazing months and they're doing some great things in not only their community and their businesses, and had some great ideas I wanted to share with you. So again, we want to continue to lead our communities, but more importantly, learn from each other how we're doing that. So Vince, I'm going to start with you down there in Southeast Iowa. You've done some awesome things with social media, giving back in your community. I'm happy to talk about that. And the other guys, if you have some questions, feel free to jump in as well. But can you just kind of go over some of the things you've done down there with social media and some of the giveaways you've done and how you came up with those ideas?
Yeah, absolutely. One of the first things that I did, I can't really take all the credit for. My wife and I were talking about some things that we could do, and I wanted to support the people at the hospital and the people that work on the front lines. And she came up with the idea of getting a gift certificate at a coffee place right there close to the hospital. Thought it was a great idea, so went down there that day, bought a nice gift certificate, let everybody know on Facebook that it was there and it was available. Got a lot of great feedback from that. A lot of the people from the hospital reached out, private message, thanked us for what we did there. So that was really good. We got a lot of people that appreciated that. Second thing I did was here we have one restaurant in this local town, or little town, so it wasn't hard to choose which one to support. But last week announced that we were going to feed students, anybody in town that couldn't afford lunch or just didn't want to afford lunch or just wanted to take a break from cooking for their kids while they're home during this shelter in place deal that we don't have yet. But that was great. I actually got word back from the restaurant owner. We fed 154 students that day. So it was a great deal. A lot of people in town have stopped in, said thank you, called. But it was wonderful, and we were able to support a great lady across the street at the local restaurant. So those are the two things that we've done. We've got some other things if this thing strings on too much longer into harvest. We've got some other ideas out there that we're going to do, but those are the two that we've done and that we've had some really good feedback on.
Good deal. So you're like Don King down there, man. You're putting like events together. You're gonna have like a boxing match pretty soon. So what's
you referring to my hairdo or what are you?
It's amazing all the things you got going on down there. Feeding 150 kids at a restaurant. I mean, that's great. So you talked about harvest. Is there anything in particular you're thinking about doing? As this possibly could get into harvest season with all of us?
So the one idea that I did have, I've already reached out to a couple guys I ensure that they have traveling smokers. They travel, they cater wedding events, whatnot. But I've reached out to them to talk to them about doing a roadside deal where we bring their smoker out there. We set up a tent, a Farm Bureau tent, and a nice day during harvest, probably a Friday, where farmers can maybe jump out of their tractor and get a central location where they can swing by. We can feed them sandwiches, have coolers full of drinks and whatnot, but just support them and what they're doing because they are essential and still working through this, not getting a break. Markets were down again today, and they're, everything else is going up. And so just trying to support them, but work with some guys that got insured, smoke some meat, feed the farmers while they're out in the field.
Love it. Great job. Thank you. Some of the stuff you caught on it went on like wildfire. I mean, we had agents that were on the news and in the newspaper because, I mean, you impacted a lot of people in the state because kind of how you kicked that off. I know a lot of other agents out there did some things too, but thank you for leading the way with that. It's made a big impact, not only in your community, but everywhere, including outside of the state of Iowa. So
It's been a lot of fun.
Yeah. Kyle, so you issued 16 new accounts this month, and I wanted to clear up some things on that first. I wanted to know how many LLCs you set up on yourself to make that happen, or if you actually did sell something.
That's classified, Ryan.
Well, hey, you hit Rise to the Top on the Rise to the Rockies, man. That's all, whatever it takes, right?
That's right. Hey, what is it, about $500 to start an LLC? So it works out. So,
yeah. Eventually,
but no, and I actually did piggyback on a couple ideas that Vince had, and I know for me, being in Rhinebeck, I've had three restaurants. I picked one kind of in each community that we're in, and then I did $5 gift certificates and posted it. Vince's similar message, and I think I had like 3,300 people engage that post, which for me was huge. And I don't do a lot of the media stuff, unlike Bo Jorgensen, the poster child of Facebook. But anyway, for me to even get like 200 or 300 views is a lot. So that worked well. So I actually piggybacked off that. So props to you, Vince.
Absolutely. That's great. So what did you do to drive that kind of activity though? So new accounts, like how did you go about prospecting? What were you doing to make that happen?
Well, when that contest came out, we had a meeting, me, Justin, and Becky. I've got two really good sales associates, obviously. And we just kind of said, hey, let's take advantage of this. And we kind of have a goal. I mean, each of us strive for about 4 new accounts a month. And we just try to consistently, hit those numbers. Some months you'll get 2, some months 3, some months you're lucky and get 5 each. But a lot of it, honestly, was, they took it seriously, and we all had a lot of luck with it. But some of the things I just kind of looked through, we had, we wrote a condo association, which we're actually pretty, competitive with that. BOPs, we had good luck with, business owner policies, stump grinding, farrier, lawn care, and then small farms. Seems like, we had good luck with, if they've got some ag exposure, they like the idea that they're covered, but, a lot of them don't have that coverage, but they've got the exposure. So had pretty good luck there. And, that was a lot of it, to be honest with you.
That's great. What going forward into the next couple of months, like looking at April and May, as I continue to go into this, we got another 30 days like this. What are you focusing on, for example, in April with you and your staff to possibly keeping your business alive, and how you keep driving your business throughout the month of April?
We printed a quotes not bound list that we're kind of going back through, because it seems like, you always have those people that are they're too busy, to actually pin down. They're like, hey, yeah, I want to sit down and go over this stuff, but I'm too busy. Right. So we're kind of prioritizing, those people. And we also, Becky, she does a good job with EverQuote, and she's been having good luck with EverQuote leads right now, just because people are home. And those leads are supposed to be people that are actually out, looking for insurance at the moment. So I know she's had pretty good luck with that as well. So I'd say just calling, following up. Again, people that we've maybe we already have their information. We haven't had a chance to sit down, pulling names from that quote not bound list. I think that's where we're going to, get a lot of hopefully activity here in the next couple months.
So clients have been open to you calling for quotes, talking about their business, and they have more time, obviously, at home. I'm just curious, not being in the trenches like with you guys, like what the reception is to prospecting, if you will, the past quotes. I mean, people have been open to that conversation.
Yeah, I think so. Just, like I'll call him, hey, let's revisit this. And I was actually working on one this afternoon, and he's like, yeah, I got the time to do it now. So I'll probably try to use Zoom and other things like that just to go over the quote with them.
Good for you. I mean, if you can figure it out in Rhinebeck, I mean, I'm surprised we have internet even there to run this.
Yeah, well, as you can see, you interrupted my Tiger King show here. Yeah, I guess we'll get back to that when this is over.
Absolutely. I should turn it on my TV as well. We got a Tiger King happy hour. But he does, hey, he is a Hawkeye fan. He's drinking out of a Hawkeye mug now.
Who's that?
Tiger King.
Yeah. Well,
he looks like a true Hawkeye. All right, well, I'm going to jump to Brad here quick. He's been sitting there since 9:30 with mimosas and bloodies, and now he's waited all afternoon until 4 o'clock to get to this. He heard happy hour yesterday and sat down at 9 o'clock this morning to get warmed up. So
I did. That's right. I feel like I'm the only one drinking.
No, you're not. No, you're not.
Cheers! I even got the Farm Bureau mug going on here.
I think we got to do a toast, a virtual toast.
Yes.
But,
cheers, everybody.
Cheers.
So I'm going to go with you a little bit different. You had a great month as well, 19,000 LPC. You have multiple staff. You got a really, really big business in Iowa City. Was kind of even an epicenter in this COVID-19 crisis, obviously in Johnson County. But can you tell me how you're running your staff currently with office hours, or how you're running your office, and whether it's virtually, or what you've done with your staff through this crisis, and kind of how you directed them to operate each day?
Sure. So, when this whole thing started developing, I made the decision pretty early on to have everybody work from home, and it was a tough call. But we had two of our staff members that are kind of in that age group where they're kind of more at risk. And then spouses of staff members were also in those categories. So I made that decision pretty early on to decide to have people work from home. And then I've been going into the office every day. And I'll tell you, we're lucky because our phone system actually we have a twinning option on our phone system. So it actually rings right through to their cell phones. So the clients don't really notice a difference, other than the main number when they call in has a greeting, but they still get to their extension. The greeting kind of explains what's going on in the office, and then they still dial their extension and they'll get to Donna or Anita or Alicia or Stacy. So that's been working out, okay. Obviously it's not ideal. Outbound calls they still have to use their cell phones for outbound calls. So then everybody has their cell phone numbers, but nobody's really had a problem with that.
So when you're holding the meetings are you doing virtual meetings? I know you're still using Corey Hodges a little bit for some appointments as well. Are you using Zoom? Are you using phone calls? What's been your primary way of meeting clients?
Yeah, well, I'll back up just real quick, because I think it was part of your first question too. So with the staff, traditionally we have been doing Thursday morning meetings every week, 7:30, 8 o'clock every Thursday morning. Usually those would last 2 hours. That's just our opportunity to get everybody on the same page. We go through prospects, we go through contract max. Obviously with everybody working from home, that disrupted that. And so we've now gone to 2 meetings per week with the staff, Tuesday morning, Thursday morning, 8:30, a 30-minute Zoom meeting, and just to get everybody, again, on the same page. And that seems to be working. This Zoom thing that Farm Bureau helped us with is like a lifesaver. So that's been great. And then with clients, yes, I've just recently started trying to do these. After talking with Corey and the success he's had with these Zoom meetings, I'm trying to incorporate that more and more, but it's still a work in progress.
Sure. How about your other resources? I know you have a ton of relationships with accountants, attorneys. I know you do a ton of work kind of working those relationships in your business. You know, if you reach out to those people, they reach out to you with this SBA relief coming. I mean, what's been your activity with that group of people?
This I think is one of the big things that, like, if you don't have those external advisors, that external team, I think it's a really critical point. So like Tuesday evening, when all this SBA stuff was developing with the PPP program, my accountant at it was almost 7 o'clock at night Tuesday, I get a text from her. Hey, you got to get on this. You got to get on this right now. She's looking out for me. I look out for her. We kind of developed that type of mastermind relationship where we look out for each other. We help each other with prospects, referrals, that type of thing. And then the very next day, my attorney, who also is the estate planning attorney that we refer a lot of our clients to, she did the same thing. She reached out and said, hey, I want to make sure you're up to speed on this. So just having good people look out for you. I also work with a business coach. A lot of people in the organization know him, Joe Blackburn. He's been a game changer for me and just changed the way I look at my business. So just, you know, I used to think I could do everything myself, but the more you get in this career and the older you get, you realize you need those people to help you. And so that's been a big part of it, is the external advisors.
That's good to hear, because this SBA, I know it's relatively difficult to understand. I will tell all of you, there's a lot of information out there floating around on it. I would reach out to your accountant, especially if you're going to apply it to your business. I think that's got to be the best. That's where I would start as a resource. So you have that resource. Chamber of Commerce has a great guide for you, or to share with your small business owners out there that are clients. I just want to make sure you're aware of that as well. So last question, Brad, going into April, May, what does it look like for you? What are your adjustments? I mean, what do you see the opportunities that are out there in this that you plan to drive throughout your business?
I think, well, I think we have a ton of opportunity right now. I think our partnership with RBC has been a complete game changer for our organization and the doors that opens for us. And this is a better time than ever to still talk about the risk side of things. So the insurance products. Now more than ever, people are willing to talk about risk. 2 months ago, it was hard to get people engaged in a conversation about risk because their portfolios hadn't lost money in 10 years. So now is a great opportunity for us. We have the resources. One of the topics I've really been talking with people a lot on is the Roth conversions. So that's a big deal right now. The change in the inherited IRA rules, now that those have to be taken out over 10 years, that's a great way to engage people in conversation on why they convert some of their traditional IRA money to Roth. So you have a lot of different topics right now. The RMD, the waiving of the RMD requirements now for this year. I mean, we have every reason to make these phone calls, check in on people, and then give them some ideas. So I think the phone calls now are almost easier than they've ever been, because you're checking on people. You care about them, and then you give them an idea. You leave them with an idea. There's a lot of things going on right now.
I keep hearing that out there. That's what's surprising me. 3 weeks ago, as I sent out my first email to the state, to all of you, is here's how you go virtual, right? I don't want, your safety is my concern, but at the same time, we're an essential business. Even if there's a shutdown, we have to have a way to service our clients, whether it's from your bar or from your office or wherever it's going to be. It doesn't mean the doors have to be open, but we have to learn how to be virtual. 3 weeks ago, I think it was more about servicing the clients and just calming people down and not necessarily driving sales. But what I found are clients want to take the responsible actions and steps right now more than they ever have before. So it's showing right now with the results that are coming in throughout the state of Iowa.
Hey, Ryan, and if I could just follow up on that too. I think this has shown that these geographical boundaries that we've all kind of lived with over the last, forever with our rural clients or whatever. I mean, I was talking to a 70-year-old yesterday, and he knows about Zoom meetings now. So I think everybody's becoming comfortable with this style of doing business. And I think this is going to stick with us even after this is over. I'm not face-to-face is always best. But there's some opportunity in this and making us more efficient too.
Oh, for sure it will. Yeah, I think it's for sure going to make us better and make us look at how we always do things. And in the past, like it's always been face to face or belly to belly, and there's going to be some efficiencies that come out of this that make us all better. So, as I look at this future for all of us, it's going to be adapting every single day, every single week, every single month. And you mentioned a few great sales ideas, but I hear people talking about supporting small businesses. Vince, you talked about that a little bit, and I think that's very important. But I want you all to realize, you three and everybody else, you are a small business that I worry about every single day, right? You have sales associates, staff members, clients, revenue, offices, bills that you have to pay and support on. And from day one, that's been how do we keep your business alive while still providing that service and support in your communities. And from the start, that's why I keep, challenging you all to be that community leader. And I think as we do that, when we come out of whatever this is, and whenever we do, you will be that known as that leader in the toughest times. So I don't know. I can't thank all of you enough for all you're doing, you three and everybody else. But number one, stay safe and stay healthy. I don't want this to be, hey, you need to go sit in your office for 40 hours a week. I don't think that's the case. I don't know what I would do if I had my office or had an office, but I for sure would be very careful about who came in that door, out of that door. And number one is your safety and your health is the most important right now. The number two thing I was going to tell people too is enjoy the journey. It's a scary time right now. Enjoy that challenge of getting better and challenging that disruption in your business, right? What is it going to make you do that you never would have done before? So I think that's another thing I want to get across, is to make sure that you enjoy that journey along the way versus counting the days like, okay, it's 30, it's 29, 28, 27 more days till I get out of here. We don't know when this is going to end. We just got to continue to lead and try to get ourselves better. But again, I thank you three for joining us. I figured everybody needed a happy hour. Cheers to all of you. Cheers to the state of Iowa. Cheers to everybody that makes this place great and for everything you've done. So I'm going to look to do this once a week. I'll bring 2 or 3 new agents in every week, share some ideas. I hope you can grab 1 or 2 things, get you comfortable operating in this environment, I want to call it, and find ways to help your small business become what it can be during this. And when we come out of it, how do you pull back out of this this crisis? So, gentlemen, thank you for your time today. Okay.
Thanks, Ryan.
Thanks.
Thanks, Brian.
Have a great day, everybody.
Cheers.
Yep.